That way, if there we go, somebody wants to actually revisit this thought, and they can. But anyways, the reality is, hey, welcome, Greg. I see you on there. But the we have limitless potential, absolutely limitless potential. And the reality is, I think that most people, I believe, I actually would, you have believing and you have knowing. Okay. And I want you guys to understand the concept that most people are their own worst enemy. Most people they're creating the roadblocks, they're creating the challenges because of their limited belief systems. But in the end, literally, we have 24 hours every day, 1,440 minutes. And once they're gone, you never, ever, ever, ever get them back. They're gone forever. And there's things that we can do every single day. There's things that we can do day in, day out, that you do not see the results from instantaneously. It's going to take some time to get the results. But the problem is that people go to the gym and then they come back a week later and say, I don't see anything. So then they stop going to the gym. It's what we do day in, day out, day in, day out. And the reality is, if somebody wants to be a millionaire, okay, if somebody wants to become a millionaire, I'll use those words, okay, you have to be the millionaire before you become the millionaire. You have to be the 4-hour marathoner before you become the 4-hour marathoner. You have to literally be the 7-figure trader before you become the 7-figure trader. Anybody who gets that, you understand, it should literally almost give you goosebumps to understand, holy, wait a second, I get that. Because literally, you have to be there first. You have to be there first in your mind. And then all of a sudden, now the behaviors become automatic. So the reality is that it has been suggested by so many people for so many decades, the idea of reading every day, the idea that, not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. Because one of the greatest laws in life is you become the people you associate with in the books that you read. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, male, female, 20 or 70, it makes no difference. You will become the people you associate with in the books that you read. And I hear people saying, well, I don't like to read. Well, that's because whatever you persist in doing gets easier. Not that the nature of the task has changed, but your ability to do has increased. Repetition is the mother of skill. I don't care if it's driving a stick shift. I don't care if it's learning how to golf. I don't care what it is in life. If you do something day in, day out, day in, day out, you become not just comfortable with it, you look forward to it. It actually becomes like the highlight. It becomes automatic. You basically get on autopilot. So that's the idea. So here's the crazy part is there is such a truth that goes back, and it's been worded so many ways, that your calendar speaks so loud, I can't hear a word you're saying. Okay, your calendar speaks so loud, I can't hear a word you're saying. This isn't just about follow-up phone calls or reaching out to people, or the time that you put into studying charts or studying educational platforms. We have educational platforms that literally make it to where people don't have to get really complicated and complex to learn how to do these things. And ultimately, in the end, it gives you a tool to where you can make your money work for you. I was reading this book, and right here, this is a book that I'm going to put this right up here, the Slight Edge, Jeff Olson. If anybody does not own this book, this is one of the best books I've read in a long time. And the cool thing is the bookmarker. This is from Paris. And the other bookmarker I have is actually a boarding pass coming back from Venice, Italy. But the point is, this book here is, words cannot describe it. And I've read more books than I can count. Okay, I'm always reading, always reading. So here's the goal. Here's a nugget. Set a target, 10 pages a day. 10 pages a day. Just pretend, act as if you were paid $100 million a year to read 10 pages a day, because then that eliminates, I don't have time. It's ridiculous. 10 pages a day. The cool thing is, I told somebody yesterday to read 10 pages, and I followed up today, say, hey, you read your 10 pages? And they're like, oh, I read 48. Because once you start, it's hard to stop. The hard part for everybody's starting. Okay, so you should never, ever, ever stop adding to your library. Because even in this book, I found other books it recommends. Now, granted, some of the books I already own. There's a book by the founder of Zappos, something about happiness. Anyways, and it's like, oh, I already had that book, but I forgot that I had it. That's the cool point. So Here's the thing, 10 pages a day. There is never, ever, ever a legitimate reason not to read 10 pages. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money a person has or how little money they have. 10 pages a day. You know, my daughter will be coming over today, like after 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we're going to take the whole day off to a game night and just literally just hang around the house. And it's just things like that in life. But it would be easy to say, okay, I'm not going to read 10 pages because I got this going on, I got that going on. But I promise you, if somebody was paid $10,000 cash to read 10 pages, they would find a way after everybody leaves or beforehand, they would make it a priority. We have 1,440 stinking minutes every single day. That's a lot of time. And it's a matter of just reading 10 pages a day. That is one habit that you never, ever, ever compromise on. That's something that is probably going to have the greatest impact on your life. Okay, so with that being said, the one main literally golden nugget that I want to go through today, and I want people to take this little thought in this quote, and I want them to reread it every single day. If you're really, really dedicated, if you're really, really disciplined, if you're really dead serious on what is it you want in life, a person might even rewrite it every day. Have you ever noticed that when you write stuff down, like the quote that, I don't know if I threw out this last time, but the ability to enjoy life every day is the highest quality you can have. I literally take a pen and that gets rewritten in my journal every single day. The ability to enjoy life every day is the highest quality you can have. Because when you read something, your mind is somewhere else a lot of times. But when you rewrite it, okay, and you remind yourself that the ability to enjoy life every day is the highest quality that you can have, you feel that. It affects literally, if something doesn't go the way that you want, you're anchored in that thought process, because today is, we know this, we know today's all you have, we know yesterday's gone, you don't ever get it back, we know tomorrow's promised to nobody, but somehow along the way we forget about the fact that your ability to enjoy life every day is the highest quality you can have. And in the end, you can, it changes your reality. It also, it changes how you affect people. And here's the other part. I don't even know if I said this, if I did even say this quote on the last call. It's there's another sentence that adds to it. It's kind of dark, but it's ridiculously real. Okay. It says, if you don't do this, you become a burden on someone else. Matter of fact, you become a burden on other people. Okay, so your ability to enjoy life every day is the highest quality you can have, dot, dot, dot. If you don't realize this, if you're not doing that, enjoying life every day, you become a burden on somebody else. So to me, I see that as selfish. Think about that. Because if I'm so wrapped up in, and there will always be things in life that literally frustrate us, and we can just dump and vent and dump and vent. But at the same time, there's absolute blessings. The fact that you're alive today and other people are not. And the fact that life is a gift, and the fact that we have limitless potential. We live in a time and an era where, I just spoke to somebody yesterday, they were going to Miami today, and they said the flight cost $260 round trip out of La Crosse, Wisconsin, connecting the whole works. And they go a couple of people going, they got an Airbnb for like $900 for the week. But it's that ability to travel, to experience life. Okay, to be able to go out and do things and experience life. But it comes down to this little quote that I'm going to give you guys. You're going to get one quote on here that I think is ultimate. I don't think, I actually know. I don't, the thinking part boils down to, will people actually do it? And even if one person did it, it would change your dimensions. So here's an interesting point. I was talking to Greg. Greg knows this. So my accounts went backwards to the tune of like around $6,500 in the last week. So it's cool because people give testimonials towards, it's like, man, it's I made this much money, I made this much money, I did this, I did that. But the cool part is, I like to report the other side of it. You know, it's like sometimes you get a little bit, you break some rules, you get a little aggressive, you over leverage or whatever else. There's beauty in this story. This was, I have multiple trading accounts. This was an account that in November was sitting at like $249. And in the last month, I completed well over $3,500 in withdrawals. So I kind of consider that a victory, you know? And then you just recoup, because all that matters is where you're going. You just rebuild and focus forward. But I mean, what some people could say is, okay, that's just frustrating. It's like, I'm out of the game, I'm done, or whatever else. But the point is that you could just look at that and say, well, wait a second, look at the success that was achieved. Imagine going to the bank, depositing $249, being able to withdraw $3,500 and still end up losing $6,500. Do the math on that. And then still having a decent account where you can still work with that. But that's kind of a good moral of the story. So here's what I would recommend. This is what I would recommend, and I would love nothing more in the world if somebody would do this. Okay, somebody, just for fun. If you want to change your life, one person do this. Okay, you literally set a goal every single day. You basically project about 21 weeks out, and you projected about a 5% growth rate. I started to say 21 months out. I say 21 weeks because I'm still targeted on a different percentage rate, which is kind of fun that you can do that. I would rather aim for the stars and hit the moon than aim for the moon and hit the trees. You get the idea. But anyways, just to keep it on regular terms, 21 months, and you begin with the end in mind. You focus on where it's compounding to, you work it backwards, and then anything beyond, whether it's 5% or 15% growth, you conduct. I have an alarm in my phone that goes off at 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it says, make your withdrawal. Most people don't have that. They're missing out on the juice of what this business is, okay? Because literally, I will take out a daily withdrawal. And the cool part about doing that is you are creating an income stream. The number one goal everybody should have is to increase cash flow, to increase income. Second of all, pay debt. Third of all, long-term goals. You get the idea as far as just, I mean, you could break it down all the way down to the level of estate planning, you name it. But the point is, step one is increasing cash flow. And if a person was just withdrawing $50 a day, that'd be $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month would still to this day radically change most people's lives. They would also be in a position where they're experiencing, they're living, they're showing it up. Still to this day, it blows me away that I can put in a withdrawal and then it's liquidated via Bitcoin. It goes into Coinbase, and then it takes maybe a couple hours to go there. And then after that, I transfer it to my bank account without fail every single time. It's in my bank the next day. So you are now realizing that basically, the fruits of your efforts. You're creating another revenue stream, and ultimately it's not coming from you punching a clock. You're making your money work for you. That's the absolute idea of making your money work for you. So with that being said, this is where I'm going to slow down just for a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to say something, and I want you to write this down word for word. Okay. So get your pens handy, get a piece of paper handy. If one person does this, I will have succeeded with this phone call, and I'm going to repeat it. Okay, I'm going to go slow because I want to make sure you get this. This is all I want you to get out of today's call. Or if a person watches the recording, this is all I want you to get out of this recording. Okay, I don't remember where I got the quote, but I love it. Okay, so it starts off with, there's nothing that gives you more strength and resilience. Okay, I'm going to start with that sentence. Okay, so write that down. There is nothing. Now, the key word is nothing. So write down, there is nothing that gives you more strength and resilience. Don't even worry about spelling resilience, just however it sounds for you. That's fine. Okay. So there is nothing that gives you more strength and resilience. Oh, and by the way, Linda, 5% for how many weeks? 5% forever. Okay. 5% per day. Okay. That's the idea. And it just goes limitless. And by the way, if you hit 5% per day for the next 21 months, a $500 account would become 10 figures. Not 9, not 8, not 7, not 6. It'd be 10 figures. It's patience, discipline. It's so incredibly easy to hit 5%. And then you could also do risk management, the whole works. But anyways, yeah, that's the idea. So there's nothing that gives you more strength and resilience. Okay, I'm hoping everybody has that one written down, because this goes on. That's not the end of the sentence. There's nothing that gives you more strength and resilience than for you to have a cash reserve. Okay, get this. I promise you that most people that you will cross paths with in your entire lifetime, whether it's today, whether it's next month, whether it's a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, most people don't have cash reserves. I know people that are literally multimillionaires and they don't have any cash. So you're basically asset rich, but cash poor. Okay, but you'll understand when I finish this sentence. You'll understand the context of this. So I'm starting from the beginning. There's nothing that gives you more strength and resilience than for you to have a cash reserve put away. So write that down. Just keep this thing written down. Again, this is a long sentence, but this is the only thing that I want done on this call today. This is my purpose for this call, is this one statement. This one statement. I know dang well somebody's going to write this down, and they're probably going to rewrite it again the next day. Because if you rewrote it, it might take you 2 minutes out of 1,440. Okay, so there's nothing that gives you more strength and resilience than for you to have a cash reserve put away in the event of an unexpected emergency. Okay, so keep writing. Write that one down. Just keep it going, because there's more to this sentence. It's not done yet. Okay, so there is nothing that gives you more strength and resilience than for you to have a cash reserve put away in the event of an unexpected emergency. I don't know a single person in life who doesn't have unexpected emergencies. I don't care if it's household related. I don't care if it's automotive related. You name it. There's stuff that happens in life, and people don't have cash reserves. And the rest of the sentence is going to explain a little bit of something of why this is so significant and why this means so much to me, and why I reread this statement every single day and have for a long time, and how that affects my discipline, my drive, my desire, okay, to be able to actually literally do stuff in life. So anyways, there's nothing that gives you more strength and resilience than for you to have a cash reserve put away in the event of an unexpected emergency or opportunity. Tell me that doesn't drive home the point. How many people do you show something to and it makes perfect sense, and their immediate mind goes straight to, oh, I don't have the money for that. It's ridiculous. If a person put around $10 a day in a cash reserve, and if you did it a year ago, you'd have an envelope with $3,650 sitting there. Somebody presents you with an opportunity, you'd be like, dude, sign me up. The cool thing is, I love edifying Alyssa. Alyssa, I have so much respect for. And the cool thing is, I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about the fact that we live in a country that has life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the Declaration of Independence. Life is health. Liberty is freedom, and you are not free until you're financially free. And it says the pursuit of happiness. It should be rewarded to the realization of happiness, because we already have reasons to be happy every single day. We live in one of the richest countries in the world, but yet in the meantime, there's a lot of miserable people out there. But whatever you focus on magnifies. That is your reality. So, so remember that life is health. And the healthier you are, the more you enjoy life. Liberty is freedom. You're not free until you're financially free, which ties to this sentence. And the pursuit of happiness, which again, it's a realization of happiness, because we all have so many reasons to be happy. I promise you, if something happened and all of a sudden you're like, you know, let's say a person had a medical emergency, near death or whatever else, and all of a sudden it all went away, they would feel so alive, nothing would faze them. It doesn't really matter how it works. So back to my sentence, there's nothing that gives you more strength and resilience than for you to have a cash reserve put away in the event of an unexpected emergency or opportunity, and then put ... because the sentence goes on. Okay, ... kind of like a little extension with it. And there is nothing that will cause you more stress. That's the next part of this. And there is nothing that will cause you more stress. Get this. And there is nothing that will cause you more stress. I read a book years ago that was about 2 inches thick, full-size, huge book. It was called The Owner's Manual for the Human Body, written by 2 doctors. I don't recommend reading it. It's it's not an easy read, okay? But the cool thing is they measured things. Okay, I mean things. I'm talking like French fries. People eat French fries. This is what it takes, how many years off their life statistically, yada, yada, yada. Whether it was smoking, whether it was drinking, whether it was fried food, whether it was carbohydrate, you name it, whatever else. Okay. The point is the fact that they measured things that take years off people's lives. And the number one thing you already know, stress. Stress was like 32 years. Okay. It was triple of the next worst thing, stress. Because our body, you know, works on a cellular level, and the stress that we experience puts our body in either an alkaline state or an acidic state, which every single ailment that exists to mankind, I shouldn't say this, knock on wood, but I never got COVID. And the reality is the fact that I consciously live as best I can, not 100%, nobody does, fully in the now. You give what you're due your full attention. You realize what you're doing is basically, you just give it your full attention and you enjoy. I don't care if it's washing dishes, it doesn't matter what it is. But let me continue on. I'm just stressing the point about stress. So starting over from the top, read this along with me in terms of what you've got written down. There's nothing that gives you more strength and resilience than for you to have a cash reserve put away in the event of an unexpected emergency or opportunity. And there is nothing that will cause you more stress and tension than to be living on the edge of your financial resources. I know damn well that there's not a single person that can't relate to this. Okay, because almost everybody I know lives on the edge of their financial resources. They just do. That's how people live their life. We make 20, we spend 30. We make 50, we spend 60. We make 100, we spend 120. Trust me, that's how it works. You make 300, you spend 400,000 a year. Okay, so I mean, that's literally how it works. So again, there is nothing that gives you more strength and resilience than for you to have cash reserve put away in the event of an unexpected emergency or opportunity, ... And there is nothing more that will cause you more stress and tension than to be living on the edge of your financial resources, unable to respond. Unable to respond. Yes, this sentence just keeps going on. And I'll tell you what, if I could somehow take my 17-year-old, my 21-year-old, my 25-year-old, my 30-year-old, and have them rewrite this sentence every day, somebody tell me this wouldn't change their life. Okay, it would change how they make their decisions, how they do what they do. They, instead of reacting in life, they would be in more of a position of control. They would prioritize how important this stuff is. So again, and it can be done with a regular JOB, the journey of the broke. It could be done with a regular job. It's just a matter of spending less than you make. But for a lot of people in today's society, I'm going to go with 95%. It's next to impossible. 5% generates more than the other 95%. It's always been that way. And by the way, 5% of the people read every day. 95% don't. So, I mean, there's a clue right there. So there's nothing that gives you more strength and resilience than for you to have a cash reserve put away in the event of an unexpected emergency or opportunity. And there's nothing that will cause you more stress and tension than be living on the edge of your financial resources, unable to respond if you have an opportunity for travel or a financial need or setback of any kind. Okay, I'm going to read that again, especially the last part, because that last part was a little bit longer. Okay, but critical. There's nothing that will cause you more stress and tension than to be living on the edge of your financial resources, unable to respond if you have an opportunity for travel or a financial need or setback of any kind. You realize how much people need a break? I don't care if it's nationally. I don't care if it's going to Key West. I don't care if it's going to Miami. I don't care if it's going to Dallas. Go to Dallas with Greg Jones. He had a good time down there. But the point is, it comes down to people's financial resources. If their financial resources are limited, they're looking and saying, I can't go. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't go to Cabo in February for watch the Super Bowl, hypothetically speaking. You get the idea. This is why this is so critically important. There's not a single person this does not apply to. Every single person who is actually on this call right now, and anybody who watches a recording of this, there's the ability to completely transform a person's life. But if a person doesn't read that every day, and if they don't reread it every day, I promise you that 6 weeks from now, 6 months from now, 6 years from now, you will have no awareness to what I just said. It'll be planted like a little seed in the back of your mind. We're all farmers, we're planting seeds, but in the end, they'll forget that awareness is the greatest agent of change. Remember that. That might be one of the greatest quotes you ever hear in your lifetime. Awareness is the greatest agent of change. And whatever you focus on magnifies. But you got to do it today. And guess what? Tomorrow's today all over again. And then next week it's today all over again. Today's all you ever have. That's the first thing that gets written down in my journal every single day. Today is all you ever have. And that's followed with the ability to enjoy life every day is the highest quality you can have. So I know this sounds crazy because I literally revisit this stuff on a daily basis, but I promise you, if you measure the amount of minutes that I put into doing this stuff, it's nothing. But yet the effect that it has, when people are always like, man, how is your disposition the way that it is? Your car just got smashed up last week and this happened and that happened. This stuff happens in life. But the reality is you cannot revisit this stuff on a daily basis and not have it affect your disposition. But this is a beautiful thing because this goes back and ties back to taking withdrawals. If you're not taking a withdrawal on a daily basis, I'm going to go as far as saying, why are you trading? Why are you trading? I mean, literally, you're not about creating wealth. You're trying to create something that's real to you, creating an income stream. I don't care if your withdrawal is only 30 bucks. It doesn't matter. You need to create that income stream. And then since it's money that you didn't have before, ultimately that should be done what? That's a cash reserve that you put in place. I promise you that there's at least one person this would radically transform their life, that they can look back with a butterfly effect and say, oh my God, this is the one thing that changed my life. That gave me ability to take a spontaneous trip to Madrid, or to be able to, as an emergency came along, and it didn't even phase me, had no effect whatsoever. And 95% of people, I promise you, do not have this in place. I mean, I've read the statistics for years. Okay, most people are like 3 checks away from homelessness, for God's sakes. It's just reality. So again, I'm going to read it one more time, incomplete, in full. Okay, but as much time as I've spent on this, and I'm done with this, is everybody should have this written down. There is nothing that gives you more strength and resilience than for you to have a cash reserve put away in the event of an unexpected emergency or opportunity. And there's nothing that will cause you more stress and tension than to be living on the edge of your financial resources, unable to respond if you have an opportunity for travel or a financial need or setback of any kind. There is not a single person whose life this can't completely transform. And that's why I say, literally, you should have an alarm in your phone. Put in a withdrawal, 345 withdrawal. And it's just, you don't take out all your profits. You let your account grow. Your account should be focused on 5% growth per day. Okay. But you create the income stream. You literally create the income stream. If not, why trade? That's the idea. You create. I think that's what most people miss out. I would say that 95% of the people that I've witnessed enter the trading world don't take out withdrawals. They just grow and they build. And eventually they do. Don't get me wrong. But the point is, if you experience that, you also protect in case if you make mistakes. I mean, some people do. I mean, I've made mistakes for years, continue to make mistakes. But the cool part is, what separates me from most people is I have an income stream that's coming in. So it's like no big, I mean, it literally softens it, because in the end, you end up actually capturing what you're experiencing. But then it also, you will hit, mark my words, you will hit a day where you're drawing out more money than you can possibly earn on a job. You understand that? 2 ways you make money. You trade time for money, whether it's hustling, opportunities, whatever else it is. I don't care if it's shoveling snow. Okay, so we got a lot of it here. But the point is the fact that you literally will reach a point quicker than you think. I want to say it could be 3 to 4 months for any single person on this thing, where your withdrawals, not your profits, your withdrawals will exceed what you're generating in revenue. Tell me that's not going to affect your disposition income. Then you learn how to set up a budget. You learn how to put cash reserves in place. That's what you do. And then all of a sudden now you're prepared for that type of stuff. So with that, I'm basically done. And that was my purpose of this call. That's what gives me really, really great joy in doing something like this. That one sentence. It's just literally taking that. I'm just calling it a sentence, because that's definitely not a sentence. But either way, we'll call it a paragraph. Okay. I don't remember where I read it. I read it somewhere. That's all I know. I've read hundreds and hundreds of books, but that thing gets revisited. Think about that. So you to get thoughts or ideas. And back to this point, get this book. You have to have this book, The Slight Edge, that Jeff Olson. It's not expensive. It's been on my list to get for 3 years. I'm ashamed to say, but anyways, my eldest son got me this one for Christmas. It's been on my list. I kick myself in the tail, because a lot of times when I get a recommendation for a book, I just get it. But either way, sometimes I have so many books that I'm trying to get, they wash through, but you never know when you're going to find a gem. That one's a gem. But by the way, that quote I gave you didn't come from that book. That came from somewhere else. But that's just one that's just really hitting hard on me, because I know it affects every single person. So with that, I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day. I have so much respect for you all being on the call. And remember, life is absolutely what you make it. And with that, have fun. Have a good day.